Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Guess we're waiting for a few.
I guess I'm the first one to come.
Is Tony
How's your
going to be
wife
here?
doing? How's your wife doing, Tom?
Doing better.
I was so sad to hear that. I'm so sorry. That was awful.
Yeah, that was a rough hit.
Oh my God. People just don't pay attention to anything anymore when they're driving.
Gotta slow down a little bit.
Yeah, just a little. I had somebody, when I go down to Prospect in the morning, I go down 63.
Yeah.
I had a guy the other morning, if he was going so fast I couldn't get his license plate, or I would have called 911. He passed the two cars behind me in a no passing zone, and then rode, it's 45 speed limit. I was doing probably 55. He had to be doing at least 80.
Wow.
And then he passed me on a corner with a double yellow line, and he almost ran somebody off the road. I was like, oh my God. Crazy.
Yes.
Well, at least our cases in the state are going down. That's a good thing. I started back at the office 3 days a week last week, so
Good.
cross our fingers.
Are we expecting Tony or?
Yeah, he should be here.
Okay. I know he had a family issue, but.
I think we have a quorum. I hope we have a quorum. We're supposed to have our company, we do trade shows for manufacturing, American manufacturing, and we had to cancel all 6 of our spring shows. And we're supposed to be, we moved our Atlanta show to August. We're supposed to be doing it, but I don't know. It's a day-to-day thing. Big financial hit. I'm very lucky. I work for a great company. They're still paying me, so.
Yeah. A lot of people are out of work. Will be for a while.
Oh, it's terrible. My daughter and my grandson are in Colorado, and they both got laid off. It was very hard to collect unemployment for a while.
Yep.
Very hard. Was originally intended to be meetings where we would focus on, planning issues and.
Mr. Wig, this is Eileen. I just hit the record button, so you may need to back up a sentence or two.
Let me start that again. This is Dave Wig, Chairman of the Morris Planning and Zoning Commission. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Morris Planning and Zoning Commission at approximately 7:16 p.m. on Monday, July 13th, 2020. Board members present are Veronica Florio, Eileen Arbutus, David Jeremiah, and Del Knox. We have guests, Peter Talbot and Connie Trolley. And Tony will not make it today. His cousin died over the weekend, and they did the burial today, and they're all at the family's house. And so,
understandable.
He said he probably wouldn't make it, and I really did not expect him to make it under the circumstances.
No.
Absolutely not. Family
His
first.
cousin was almost to his 27th birthday.
Oh.
Was that the car accident over the weekend?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was a car accident. No.
Oh.
But anyway, it was not expected of him, so they were kind of in shock.
That's terrible.
But we are moving ahead here, and he will be back at the next meeting.
Of course.
We do have an agenda review action. We have a guest who was asked to talk with us tonight. His name is Peter Talbot. He is you're an engineer, I take it, or a surveyor, or architect? You're an architect.
Architect in Washington, Connecticut.
Yes. And I would ask if somebody could, thank you, Eileen. could.
This is Eileen. I make a motion to add to the agenda under new business, the floor for Mr. Talbot to discuss the property at, what is the address, sir?
60 West Morris Road.
60 West Morris Road, and we would add that as 4D, or excuse me, 3B.
Yes, correct.
I
Do I have
second
a
that,
second?
Bill.
Bill, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. This is a point of information that in addition to the agenda is not a debatable matter, so that's why I just moved right to call the question.
And who's taking
And-
notes at this meeting, Mr. Wick?
Could you, Eileen, please?
Sure. And I will be better and timely at getting them back to you, I promise.
I tell you, we're due a lot better today than we did for a while in the past. And though actually, got to figure.
Dell, did you second? I just want to make sure I have the notes correct.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you.
me.
Thank you, sir.
It's everything welcome.
And then I'd like to move on to 3A. I think let's do it this way. I should have opened up the public hearing first, but I want to do that and close it, and then so we could take care of 3A. So I'd like to ask if we could recess. Somebody could make a motion to recess the meeting.
I make the motion to recess the meeting to allow for the special meeting.
I'll second that. It's
Up the
Veronica.
public hearing. Thank you,
Just tell-
Veronica. Thank you, Eileen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. And now I would like to call to order the public hearing for a special exception, and let me get that, for a accessory apartment to be built inside an existing barn at 229 West Street. Unfortunately, this application has been, actually, just to note, the board members present are Del Knox, Eileen Arbutus, Veronica Florio, David Jeremiah, and this is David Weig, your chairman, and it's approximately 7:21. Oh, please note that the regular meeting was recessed at 7:21 p.m. and I'm calling to order the agenda, the public hearing. It's actually a continuation of a public hearing. It's the first time we've continued it from the Monday, the first Wednesday of the month when we didn't have a quorum. And we have, everybody here is, excuse me. I would like to add that David Jeremiah was appointed for Bob Paradis. And that should be noted on the regular meeting agenda too.
Got it.
I had missed that the first time around. And basically what's happened with this application is that the application was withdrawn, but I don't like to let something that's already been noticed as a public hearing just not, I believe we're legally supposed to open the public hearing since it's been set and close it. And we also need to, since we no longer have an application, I would just say we should, when we get back to the regular meeting, we should reject it without prejudice. I just wanted to go through the motions of opening and formally closing the public hearing before we did that.
Agreed.
And so we opened the public hearing at approximately 7:21. And seeing as we don't have an application to process anymore, I am closing the public hearing. Well, we continued the public hearing at 7:21. That's because we did open it on that Wednesday meeting, and
The
I had
8th. Yep.
continued it till today. And I am closing it at approximately 7:23 p.m. on July 13th, 2020. And now we can return to our regular meeting.
Our regularly scheduled meeting.
Yes, that we recessed about 2 minutes ago. And I'd like to recall it to order. Again, I just want to make one note on the record for this meeting that David Jeremiah is an attendee and he is appointed for Bob Paradis, as he is technically still an alternate. But you would never know the difference because he sits as a full member almost every time he's here, as does Katie when she gets here.
And
And
so we're rejoining at 7:23.
let's say 23 p.m. on
Katie texted she can't get
Monday,
in.
July 13th, 2020.
I heard you, Veronica. I'm not sure why she can't get in. I'm not seeing her as waiting to get in.
And I don't see anything either. I had problems connecting initially because the first thing I did, it said it was a bet. One thing, if you could text her and say that if she looks at the URL she is using, maybe it put an I after zoom.us/ because there's supposed to be a J between the
That's
the
what it
web
is.
the address and the meeting ID. But
It's okay.
I think when I OCR'd it, it came through as an I.
Yeah, it's a J.
It's a J.
Make sure she knows that that's a J before the meeting ID number.
I'm
Before
just
that,
going to tell her to try it without the link and log in with the meeting ID number.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
You did already?
Yeah, I took a picture of everything, sent it to her.
Okay.
thank you, David.
You're the best.
And on 3A, I mean, we closed that public hearing, so we now can take action on this item. What is the board's preference?
This is
Even though
Eileen
I don't think we
Narbutis.
have-
I make the motion that we reject without prejudice the special exception application for 20-22 for the accessory apartment for 433 West Morris Road.
I'll second that.
Do I have a second for that motion?
Veronica.
Thank you, Veronica. Just one point of information comment, since not everybody here has been through this a lot. Generally, when we do this, we're having somebody is withdrawing their application, they're going to reapply. Generally, we're going to waive the fees. I don't, why, at this point, I don't know what Tony has worked out, but unless he's got something else, I don't see a need for them to waive the fees. Unfortunately, he's not here, so we can't get the details, but I do want to get this out of the way. And let's leave the motion as it is. I don't want to say we waive the fees until I know what arrangements we're making with them.
All
I will
right.
leave that as an action item. This is Eileen Narbutis on the minutes for Tony to say whether the fees were being waived or not.
Thank you. That's a good idea. Because I think it should be in the record one way or another.
Got it.
And any other questions or points of discussion? I hear nothing, so I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of rejecting without prejudice?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Just for the note, for some of the newer members, without prejudice means that they have the right to reapply again. Not that they would need to reapply given the situation. I think the reason they withdrew the application is because they decided to sell the property,
Correct.
and hence that it would be somebody else and it would be a new application, totally different. It could be a different application. Okay, 3B, 60 West Morris Road. The floor is yours, Peter.
Thank you. I'm not totally familiar with your regulations, so I was hoping that I could just get an informal review. We have clients that have bought the property. One of them has MS. He is fined for another 5 to 8 years, I think. But we're trying to plan for the future. So there's a couple of phases going on with this. And if I could share the screen.
Let me, or do you want to do that, Eileen? And I think Katie just joined too.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. Thank you.
Katie.
Katie.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sorry for the confusion. I'll try to do that better next time.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know what's going on, so I just dialed in. I can't get my Zoom to work for some reason. So.
Well, I think the URL that you're using needs an I. Has it coming up with an I, and it should be a J. Because I just OCR'd it after the agenda, and I think the OCR didn't properly read the J and thought it was an I.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get in through the app as well too, and that's not working for me either right now.
Well, I appreciate your being here. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
And just so you know, we added an item to the agenda, 3D, which is 60 West Morris Road, and the man's name is Peter Talbot. And I think, let's see.
Mr. Talbot, you should have the availability. If you take your cursor and go down to the bottom of the screen, you should be able to click on share screen.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. And Peter.
See if I can actually make this work. So this piece of property is 61 acres. This is, I think it's called Calvary Road here in West. Can you see my cursor in the drawing?
Yes, and you're pointing at West Morris Road.
West Morris Road. This is the house itself. There's a barn, a house, and then another barn and a swimming pool. And they are, I'm going to change this to another. So,
Sure.
let me see, where is it? Oh dear, let me just see what happened to that. I had a blow up of that area that where we are working with setbacks. Okay.
Where the house is.
So I understand that your front yard setbacks are 35 feet and share screen and I don't know why this isn't there.
There we go.
I don't know why it's sort of behind you all. Okay, there we are. So we're looking at doing a couple of things here in phases. And the house itself, the corner, can you see a site plan with sketches, red marks on it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So there is, the existing house is 19 foot 6 inches off the front yard property line instead of 35 feet. This red line right here is a covered porch. And what they want to do is enclose that covered porch and add to the first floor and the second floor in that existing footprint within that front yard setback. So that's one question of how one deals with that in Morris. Is that do you have a ZBA?
Yes, we do.
And does that fall into a category of going to ZBA for that?
Yes. And, you know, I guess because I see you also want to extend the house on the north side there. And
That's a next phase. That's probably in 5 to 6 years. That's for him when his MS kicks in. We're trying to figure out, I had done additions to this for the Uries probably 20 years ago now, where we'd added the master bedroom back in here. But there are a lot of steps in this house. And so we're trying to figure out how to get them to be able to have a master suite on this level. So we would come back for that if I can't somehow push it outside of this front yard setback, which I might be able to do. I might be able to sort of manipulate the plan. But so that's a future piece. This one right now and this little entry here where we're going to put a ramp is the part of phase 1, which they'd like to do and have done by next summer, if it's legitimate to do it. And so I was trying to understand what the procedures were for us in terms of getting approval to put a second story on this existing, sort of extrude the building out and fill in where there is a covered porch with a space and rework the stair.
you want to enclose the porch and put a second story on top of, you're saying.
Correct.
I understand that's something we cannot approve that's something that would require variance.
Okay. And the hardship on this is, what way we've handled some of these in the, and you may not be able to answer this question, but in Washington and some of the other communities around, where the hardship is the fact that the building is within the front yard, making a non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming building even more non-conforming. In this case, we wouldn't be, in terms of footprint, we're increasing the volume of this. But is there somebody in ZBA that I could talk this through with to see, or should I just submit it to them, or how does one?
Alan Bernardini is in charge of ZBA these days. I would talk to him. I don't think we can do, we've run into this before, and I think we've decided that it's not our purview to, if I think it would, even enclosing the porch, I'm not comfortable with. I know you're not changing the footprint. And.
Okay. So I'll go to ZBA. That is.
It's Veronica. I have a question on the regulation. So because it's already non-conforming and isn't it grandfathered in?
No, he can add to the house. I guess my concern is, I know we've had issues in the past. I'm not ready to, I'm willing to have Tony Adili look into it. He's our zoning enforcement. You can start by talking to him, Peter, if you want.
Okay.
And see if he. Now, I know we've been dealing with issues where we put, enclosed porches and things like that, and decided that was something we couldn't do. So that's why I'm concerned and don't feel comfortable with just saying, yeah, you can do it. Just, an application with the zoning enforcement officer. But what I'd ask you to do is to first make an appointment with Tony, and he should be there both tomorrow and the next day at 10. I think he works like 2 hours tomorrow and till 1:30 on Wednesday. And you know, I mean, because the one person who knows this aspect of it, most of the stuff I've been doing this for a number of years, but we dealt with this a couple of times recently, and I think that Bob McIntosh is the best resource in our county on that. But he's on the board, but he's not at today's meeting. But Tony should be able to get a hold of it, and I will double check with him too, because I'm not 100% sure. I'd like to say that we could do it, but
Video.
I'm not convinced you can. I had muted you, Connie. Connie, I muted you. Do you guys have your radio on or something?
I'm sorry?
You have your radio on or something? Well, it's not there anymore, but
So that's, I'll talk to Tony. And then the other piece that they want to do this year before next summer is add a pool house here that has 2 bedrooms. And I wasn't sure if that fell under an accessory dwelling category in your regulations, or if that would be, and the clients told me that there's a separate lot here, but I honestly don't see it. I went on the tax map, and there are, I mean, this isn't actually, I guess, doesn't have much bearing with you at the moment until I determine this. So the question is, if this is one conjoined lot, there were at one point 4 parcels there that the Uris combined. Would we, if it's all one, would a structure that is 1,512 square feet, that's the first and second floor, with 2 bedrooms, a bath, and a little kitchenette, be considered, do we file that under an accessory dwelling, or what? How is that filed?
what we allow is what's known as an accessory apartment. But an accessory apartment's limited to 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
So you would make a special exception application, which is our term for a special permit. Other people, because that's another, I've heard it called a special permit in other places, but we call it a special exception. We'd receive the application and schedule a public hearing, and you'd need to invite neighbors to, at least notice your adjoining property owners as to the application when the public hearing is scheduled for.
So that would be, we'd have to limit it to 1,000 square feet?
Yes, you would.
Okay. And if it's on its separate piece of property, then it would become a primary, which it doesn't appear from the survey, but.
That would be correct, yes.
Okay.
If that is a separate parcel, then yes, you could put that there as the primary residence on the parcel, even if it's meant as an accessory building to the existing house. I mean, the only issue is that you can't have more than 1,000 square feet of living area
In an accessory apartment.
Yeah, exactly. Not only does it have to be less than the primary dwelling, it has to be, less under 1,000, a maximum of 1,000 square feet.
There is a formula, a percentage of the existing relative.
No, the maximum is 1,000 square feet, period.
Right. So if it is on its separate lot, then, oh, I see.
It would be a normal,
I'm looking at your regs. Okay, I get it. Yep.
well, a more normal zoning permit for a new house kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And
very
we would need, yeah, because it's new construction, we would need an additional, hookups for the septic system. We'd need a Torrington area health approval and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we've done perks and deeps for this, whether it's an accessory or whether it's a primary on the property. But all right, I understand and appreciate the time that you all gave me, and I will go over this with the clients and figure out how we move forward.
Yes, and you're welcome to talk to Tony and get things lined up on the parts of that we can definitely do. And I will talk to a few people and see whether you have any options on doing the enclosed porch and the second story
Okay.
on the same dime, or if you have to go, you definitely have to go to Board of Appeals.
Okay. I'll go over this with Tony and get him at least a preliminary set of plans and drawings of what we're doing so he understands the full scope of it, and then we can go from there.
Great.
So,
Excellent. Thank you, Peter.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Talbot.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is 229 West Street. Oh, we have an yes, we have an application for a special exception. That's what Tony said we did. Okay, we have paperwork on here.
Yep. The agenda attached.
There we go. That's it.
I'm trying to find it. I apologize.
No problem.
It's at the bottom of the agenda, I believe.
Is this it right here?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is 433 West Morris. Oh, no, here it is.
Well, isn't that Island? That's Island Trail.
That's Island Trail.
That's Kent Eureka.
No, I
This
think
is what
everything-
is in the packet, Mr. Witt.
Island Trail.
What's that one? I think it's that one on the top.
This one?
Jeff Martell,
Oh,
433
Well,
West.
that's 430 West Morris Road. Never mind. It's not the.
Yeah. Let me stop sharing and see if it's on from the minutes from the other day.
Yeah, that's what I'm on with right now. No, I don't see it.
Neither do I.
Tony.
He probably attached the wrong one or something. Understandable and what's going on.
I'm texting Tony.
Yeah, David, this is Eileen. I don't see the information that you are looking for out on the
I don't
website.
see it either. I don't see it either. I know I read through a lot of stuff.
On to the next one.
No, that's not it.
So, you know what? Oh, you know what? I messed up. We already did this one.
From last week, right? Or 2 weeks?
Seven.
Yes, I mixed up the old business and the news business. I apologize. We already acted on this. I skipped over 3A. And did what we did as 3A was
Okay.
4. And 3A is that item that's on the agenda. So if you could note that in your minutes that we went.
So
accidentally went out of
4A
order.
should actually be 3A and 3A should be 4A. Is that what you're saying?
The agenda's right.
Okay,
My order of operations was wrong.
I see.
And because I was saying, gee, this sounds like what we just did. And so what we want to look at was at the top of the, it's this application here.
433. Yeah.
Yes. And it is for a, let's see.
Oh, so the special one that we waived, that was dismissed
Yeah,
was
it's an accessory
29 West
apartment.
Street. And the one we're supposed to be looking at is 433 West Morris Road.
Yeah, and I don't, yes. And that's that stuff, first couple pages at the top. The only issue I have is I don't have a map here. It's basically, if you read the application, he is looking to turn a two-car garage into a one-bedroom apartment. So I suspect that he probably does have enough
Does he have Torrington Health District approval yet? This is Veronica.
I don't see that. There's no indication that he has anything from the paperwork we have.
Mm-hmm. So we're still waiting for a site plan?
We do, let's put it this way. The application is technically not complete
Without the site plan?
Unless Tony has the paperwork and just was not able to upload it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it is up to the board. I have no issue with how you guys choose to proceed. As I see it, we have two options here, two clear options here. And if somebody can think of another one, either A, we table this to another meeting next month, but that'll postpone everything for the applicant by a month. B, we can still receive this application, set a public hearing date, and note that there are two pieces of information we need before we can close any public hearing that we open up, which would one be a map that outlines, architectural plans and a map. And technically, we need architectural plans based on the fact that there's no longer a waiver for what I used to like to call a hand-drawn facsimile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says C is subject to a site plan special exception at the bottom there.
Yes.
Is there any?
But
Can
we
you go
don't have
further
that.
down? Is there more to this application, or just that was it?
That's all that's on the, that's all scanned.
So he's changing a garage to apartment,
Yes.
structure bones.
And the other thing that I see in here that I'm concerned about is if you look at these existing structures, I read the total floor area and the ground coverage of the barn to be the existing garage / barn
1,800 feet.
to be
over 1,000.
1,800 square feet.
A little too
And that's
big.
another reason why we need effective floor plans to know what he's putting in there.
Can you
Because
scroll
as
down
it
more?
is, we may, if he doesn't have, and basically, if we receive and set a public hearing, we would get all these answers at a public hearing, and worst case scenario, we'd have to reject without prejudice if he can't meet the requirements.
Mr. Wigg, this is Aileen. Just to confirm, you said the first thing that we need in order to potentially accept this application would be a map that outlines the architectural plans based on the fact that it is no longer a waiver. And what exactly is the second thing that we need? The fact that we don't have Torrington Health approval, or we're
Yes,
questioning the...
That would be number 2. Torrington Area
Okay.
Health would be number 2.
Okay, thank you.
And the only other question that would be an issue is that the garage/barn is 1,800 square feet, and hopefully everybody understands that he can't go over 1,000 square feet. But that's something that the plans would answer.
David,
So-
if we accept this tonight, does the clock start ticking on the time limitations?
Yes.
So maybe we should say we don't accept it without prejudice and wait to get a site plan?
Well, we don't know what we do at this meeting. We have 2 options. A, we receive the application and set a public hearing date because it's a special exception or
Right.
it requires a public hearing. That gives them time to get the necessary information and have more time to do the work once they have everything.
It says
As
on
it's,
that you accepted it.
Okay?
The last line of the application, it says that Tony signed it, that application was accompanied by one or more of the following: special exception use, a site plan, and a drawing. They're checked off.
Okay, so, well, let's assume that we do have it, we just don't have pictures of it, but we're
Yep.
gonna need that for the public hearing, but still make the, add that, to be able to process the application, we need the site plan, we need architectural plans, we need Torrington Area Health approval, and the building must be less than, the accessory apartment must be less than 1,000 square feet.
So he's stuck with an 1,800-foot garage, but he can't make it into a barn, right? I mean, a apartment.
Well, I mean, conceivably, he could have instead of a multi-car garage, you could have maybe a small garage or whatever, and he has an accessory apartment.
This is Eileen. I'm wondering if he included the entire square footage of the building and didn't, separate the apartment versus the garage portion of it.
He's got
It's
12
quite
acres.
possible.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
So this is Eileen. I make a motion that we accept the application. We receive the application for 433 West Morris Road with the conditions that we will receive a map that outlines the architectural plans based on the fact that it is no longer a waiver, that we receive Torrington Area Health approval, and with the understanding that the garage barn cannot exceed 1,000 square feet. So we need to discuss that with the
accessory
owner.
apartment.
The accessory
apartment.
apartment cannot exceed 1,000 square feet.
I would second that motion. It's Veronica.
Any
And I
additional
think Ash
any
does
discussion?
too.
Ash, we don't need your input today, hon.
I hear no comments from anybody.
No.
I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Now, did we lose Dell or did we lose Katie?
We lost one.
Let me see
Yeah.
whose phone number that is. One moment, please. Please hold.
Well, I look up that number.
There's 2 phone numbers there.
I only
Oh,
see
really?
one
I don't-
phone number.
I
Oh,
see-
wait, I didn't scroll down. They're both there. Never mind. They're both there.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It's like when your mouse isn't on
You
it,
can't see the whole thing. I get it.
it doesn't, but normally if you hover over it, there's an arrow, but
Right.
it won't show that when you're not hovering over it.
Hmm.
It's just confusing. Sorry about that, Katie and Del. You
Mhm.
guys are good. I appreciate you guys being there. Thank you. And so that is done. We're on to the next one.
4B,
And
22 Island Trail.
That's the map we got.
let's see if we can't unmute Connie, because I think she's here for this one, and I don't want her to be silenced. And
Thank you.
Hi, Connie.
sorry about that, Connie.
Hi, everybody. No problem.
Hello, Miss Troll. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I wanted to go back about that gentleman before. I know very well that you cannot make a vertical expansion of a non-conforming lot. And I know that Bob McIntosh would tell you that. I've had that experience.
That's my recollection too. But
Yeah.
that came up under his purview, not under my purview. And
Oh,
so I
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
didn't want to. I appreciate that, Connie. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
told him that's probably the case. But he has some things to talk to Tony about anyway.
I just wanted to speak on behalf of the neighbor, if I can speak right now, my neighbor, which is Choate 22 Island Trail. And the inland wetlands, I'm speaking as an inland wetlands officer. We did approve, based on Cynthia Rabinowitz's letter, which I think you'll see it attached, the changes that were made. The application is before you because they made some changes to the original plan. Inland Wetlands wasn't aware of it, but we did have a meeting and we reviewed it, and she felt that it wouldn't have any negative effect on the lake, which is what Inland Wetlands talks about. So I just wanted to be involved and be here if you need anything. Also, it's my direct neighbor.
I understand. And that's why I'm especially concerned that one way or another, you have a chance to have your
Thank
say if there's any, because I
Thank you, David.
just get very leery of retaining walls these days. We've had a number of complaints recently over retaining walls, and that's why I didn't want to
I'm in there with Tony every Wednesday, so I know what you're talking about, that one retaining wall. And this is a big one, so it's really up to you guys. But I wanted you to know that Inland Wetlands did not object.
Do
Well,
you
I
have
see
an issue with
the
the
little-
retaining wall?
I see it when it says parking area, drainage and retaining wall over the site plan thing, so there was an amendment. You need a
Yeah, because what basically changed here, for those of you who weren't at the previous meeting when we started talking about this, is that the area for the driveway at the front of the house, which is that hash marked area on the lower left-hand side of corner of the, that's you down, right down there, yes. You know where it is, Eileen?
I'm just following what you're saying.
So if you see where it says Island Trail on that map,
Yes.
and you go to the left, you'll see that there's like a paver or something like that on the map. Go to the left. You went to the right.
Move it, yeah.
Oh, that's the right. Haha.
Right there.
Not that one either.
Go back.
It's in the middle. It's in the middle on the left. I'm sorry. So stop there. See that area there off of Island Trail?
Yes.
That is the driveway. And on the far left is a retaining wall. And the garage is, I think if you go in from the driveway straight back, that's where the garage is. And the reason why Inland Wetlands approved it and there's no issue with the application from an engineering point of view is because the surface on these pavers here is pervious, and that the rain that falls off the roof and onto it will sink into the ground and feed a a drain that will fall into a rain garden that's on the lake side of the property. And if I'm describing anything wrong, you're welcome to correct that, Tommy. But that's how Ken Hurricka described it to me at one point.
Well, it's not a rain garden. What they've done is they've taken, those are pervious pavers, and they are taking all of the water from that and putting them into a drainage system that'll go to the, if you're looking at the house from Island Trail to the left, Cynthia Rabinowitz asked them to make a swale in there. By the way, there's no garage.
Oh, there's no garage, just a parking
No.
area?
It's just parking, and it goes into a chamber system. It's called the Cultec chamber system, which was never on a plan before, by the way. And it feeds, and then there's an overflow. So all the drainage is scheduled to go over to there. And we trust that Ken has properly engineered it. That was what we.
Right. Yes, I know that, and we don't.
I mean, it's
Do
a
you
very
ever
high,
use
it's probably a 8-foot high wall. I don't know.
8 feet, wow.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a high wall. It's going to be a retaining wall, but it was all over closer to the steps coming in. But
Yeah, it was mostly, instead of
yeah,
being right on your property line, just about, right?
What?
Is that now right on your property line, basically?
It's close to the property line. It's an odd property situation, as you all know. But
Yeah, it's the lake.
Inland Wetlands, we felt like, this is a professional engineer, and we trust that his calculations are correct, which we have to. So anyway, that's why we approved it.
Understand. As a neighbor, what's your feeling on the matter?
I'd really rather not say.
I understand.
I don't think it's my place. I voted
Okay.
yes to approve it on Inland Wetlands and spoke about it and explained it as the inland wetlands officer. And I voted yes, but as a commissioner.
I understand.
Okay.
But
There were some other minor changes, but they were minor. I think they added some decks and some other things that would probably.
there's a stone patio on the opposite side of the building from the parking area.
Right,
And then there's some stairs off of that stone patio too.
right.
So the stone patio is the other thing with like the design that looks a lot like the driveway, except instead of squares, it's rounded. And like
Right,
that, you had your mouth over it there, yes. And I think the stairs are that thing that's hanging off of that, on top of that,
Right, right.
to above it, not to the right. Wish I could control your mouse, but anyway.
You want me to
So
move my
what-
mouse a certain place, Mr. Wick?
Well, you know where the stones are, right? That we're talking about, the patio?
Right
And
here?
above it is like a stairway.
This?
Yeah, that's the stairway I think that they're talking about.
I'm going to be Vanna. There you go.
So basically, the board has two options. Either A, we approve this. They're looking for us to approve this change to the site plan. Or B, we could reject it, but if we were to reject it, I would rather do that after having talked with the engineer. If we want to approve it, we can approve it at this meeting. If we want to do anything else, we should hold it over till the time we can get Ken Hurricka here to talk with him in more detail about it. And it's up to the board to make that decision.
What do you say, Ash, huh? He always has an opinion.
She agrees with David.
What's that?
I just said she agrees with David. The cat.
So we need a motion or some discussion, one of the two.
Well, I guess if inland wetlands has already approved their end of things, this is the one where they're creating all that additional floodplain area, right?
Correct. That is exactly right.
But I do
I
not have
think
it.
you've seen.
Yeah,
You
I
have
don't
seen
have
it
an
before,
opinion.
Veronica.
I don't know enough to have an opinion.
Well, and they added like a lot of floodplain area.
Well, basically, if you look at the map, it says above the patio there, it says above the stairs too, it says existing cottage. And there's like a rectangle that it's in, that rectangle goes down. All of that area, the cottage above the, well, basically, if you look at the map, there's a dotted line that runs across the map. And if you look carefully, you want to scroll down a little bit towards the bottom. You see that dotted line that runs through the proposed 3-bedroom? It goes right under the word 3-bedroom. And if you follow that dotted line, it says flood zone along the line, elevation 904. That dotted line is what's known as the 100-year flood plan, or flood. So if you had, which I think we've kind of found is not necessarily 100 years anymore, but it was what once was considered to be, the worst flood you would see in 100 years would reach that dotted line.
And they're proposing to add this past that.
Basically, they moved much of the house, a significant part of the house, out of that floodplain. The only reason they can maintain what they have in the floodplain is that they did not add to the floodplain. They've got a bigger house and a bigger footprint. It's, I think it's 2 stories now and not 1 story, but that part is history. The only question on this is whether we extend that driveway 8 to 10 feet to the left with all those pavers and, and the changes for the drainage related to that driveway.
So that's all we're approving as a driveway.
Correct. Just the added section. The driveway and the up to 8-foot cement wall that comes to hold back the driveway. Because if you scroll down to the bottom again, Eileen?
I could be wrong about that height, but the other thing is I believe there's less in the floodplain with this new plan, is what I was told. So he's added some planters, and I think there's a little bit less. If you look at, Kenarica had done some computation that's on this plan, on this package, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was very skeptical about the whole thing when it first came to us and asked a number of questions. So there's a lot of extra calculations that came out when we looked at this, because I just, and I ended up satisfied with it. But I mean, because it's like a lot of this is still in the floodplain. But if you look at how the map goes and the house is drawn, it's moved significantly out of the flood zone, and those
Right.
calculations document how that's happened. And the pavers and the drainage system would be an improvement over almost any other service if it wasn't, except for maybe a lawn or a forest that in that location, something natural. But if you're going to have something man-made, over the top of it, these pavers are probably one of your best options. It's one of these newfangled things that hopefully will stand the test of time.
Did I hear you say the retaining wall for this driveway is 8 feet high?
I
Connie's
can't
not
say,
sure.
I don't know. I think we have to see what the plan shows. I can't see it.
I know, I got my magnifying glass out. I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, let me look
Unfortunately,
at-
the problem with PDFs is you can only zoom in so far before the pixels start making it hard to read.
Doesn't
Well,
that seem
You
kinda
can
high?
tell from some of the elevation, but I don't know. The height's always the same, though. The height did not change. It's just
Oh.
where it is.
Okay, if you take a look, there's an email from Ken Harika. That's part of the thing here. Everybody should read through that. Right there. That's not, yeah, it is an email.
That's the one.
No,
That's from
that's the
Cynthia
letter-
Rabinowitz.
yeah, that's the letter that Connie was referring to. But that's the email there.
The retaining wall in previous paver driveway was moved 10.5 feet to the east to align with the corner of the house. The wall elevations did not change. The 10.5-foot area that has been changed to driveway pavers will collect storm water into Hyatt's drainage system rather than the previous plan where the storm water in the 10.5 area flowed into the small swale between Hyatt's house and the neighbor to the east, thus reducing the overall stormwater flowing between the Hyatt's house and the neighbor's driveway by a bit. It is not a significant amount, but every little bit helps. Point 2, in the back left corner, southeast corner of the house, a 12 by 26 foot stone paver patio is being proposed. The paver patio will be entirely under the deck above and will have stone dust or a similar substrate between the pavers to allow for some stormwater infiltration. The patio will also match the existing grade to the east and will be sloped slightly towards the lake, which is the south, so stormwater runoff from the stone patio will not flow towards the neighbor's property. And point 3, there will be 2 9 feet long, 3.5 deep, and 2-inch high planter boxes being proposed on either side of the stairs leading from the basement to the backyard to help screen the exposed foundation walls on each side of the stairs. The planter boxes will not extend out further than the stairs. The result of adding the stone patio and the planter boxes to the site plan is very slight reduction, 198 cubic feet in overall flood storage volume. I have submitted a revised calculation sheet showing that even with these minor additions to the landscape, the net result is that with the construction of this new dwelling, 2,925 cubic feet of flood storage will still be returned to the property.
Okay, the one thing I missed in this,
I don't have that.
it is in the,
It's in there. I just read it all too.
can you stay there,
Okay,
please?
sorry, I just found
I
it.
don't want to read
Cynthia
that.
wrote something too, so
I found it.
Cynthia said it'll add more footage for the footprint, but as long as there's shrubs or something between the two properties.
I mean, I'm gonna look at the,
Yeah, the one from Northwest Conversation. Yeah. This is
they're quite a
Conservation
conversation.
District?
you know. I know what you mean.
So she just recommended more plantings between the properties.
How much
Exactly. I
land- how
recommend
much-
establishing plantings in the southwest of the site, close to the water's edge.
Yeah, because he's adding more cubic feet, so that she recommended some more shrubbing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's along the stairs, which are by the patio. That's not along the retaining wall or anything to shield the retaining wall.
Correct.
Let me look. I'm gonna look at that map again.
Jim, you want me to put that back up on the screen, Dave?
Yeah, that doesn't hurt too.
Yeah.
I just,
Said to establish plantings in the southwest of the site close to the water's edge in form of native shrub border of approximately 10 feet deep along the shoreline from the west property boundary to the end of the existing stone wall in the center of the shoreline, or to put a rain garden in the grassy area in the southwest corner. So maybe
Trying
we
to zoom it in
um,
appropriately.
add to for approval, one of those would have to be done.
Is that a planning and zoning issue, or would that have been something that the
That
Well-
should have been, that's a wetlands issue, and they do
they're
have.
already approved.
David, if you
Right.
could see, if you could see the elevation of where the pervious pavers are and go down to the driveway, I can't see those numbers. I think it goes from 915 down to 9.
05 or 908, ma'am?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Let me see if I scroll out,
Oh,
if
I
it makes
see
it
what
easier
you're
to
saying.
read.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's either 905 or 908, ma'am.
I'm talking about,
I have readers and a magnifying glass and I still can't make it out.
Right here where my mouse is.
no, I'm talking about the
No,
elevation by the street.
Oh, I'm sorry.
there are thinner dash lines. There's a thick dash line is the flood plain, which is the 904 mark. But if you go
Yeah.
towards Island Trail from the floodplain, there are two other dash lines between the roadway and the
Right.
floodplain, and those have numbers on them. I think one of them is 906
And one's 915.
or maybe it's 905 and 906.
Well, 915 is the finished floor.
Yeah, the basement floor is,
Floor
I
is
go with
905.
90410.
I'm
Yeah,
talking,
that's,
I'm just talking where the pavers are, but I can't see it.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
because if you look carefully, there are two. The one close. Well, actually, there's a dash line that seems to run near. There's 910. If you look to the right of the driveway, there's a number that says 910
Right.
next
got
to
it.
a dash line that's probably like the same thickness of the 904.
Mhm.
That is an elevation line on the map. That runs, and then below that you have 906, and maybe 908 and 906. That's what you have.
Oh, three
'Cause
numbers
the
on
one-
a diagonal. I see them. Okay.
Because there's a dash line very near where it says 910, the 910 line, that I think says 908, and then it's 906, because it's going to be increments of 2. They're going to have equal increments. So you have the 904 line, which goes through the building.
Mhm.
Then if you go down towards the road from that 904 line, and you look towards the road.
Pull down.
That's
Pull down.
the
Yeah,
way.
right there. Steve.
So you see there's like 2 bricks into the driveway.
Mhm.
There is a line that then squiggles after it goes past the retaining wall.
At
And
910.
if you look carefully, that's a number on that line as it turns up
Right down.
and then farther to the left.
Yep.
That is 906. And if you go down farther, about 3 bricks from the bottom of not the entrance into Island Trail, but it's 6 bricks off of Island Trail, but it's 3 bricks off of that corner by the retaining wall. There's another dash line, and that's 908.
Mhm.
So from the top of that dash line, that probably, the retaining wall probably starts somewhere around 9. But I don't see where it says that 910 is the foot of the driveway, maybe even a little more than 910. That's the elevation line. So if you go down from there, you go down to 908. So it's probably about a foot and a half down when you hit that 908 line. Then you get to the 906 line, and that would be 3 to 4 feet down. So I would say that the wall probably, by reading the map, would be 4 to 5 feet at its highest when it hits the house. And then it goes down to being somewhere like a foot or less when you're at that corner where the retaining wall ends. You guys see what I'm seeing?
Mhm.
Yes.
So that's what you're looking at for a retaining wall.
David, I could go open my back door and take a picture and text it to you.
Probably better. Jeez.
I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
While
would be
she's doing that,
fantastic.
can I call a 3-minute bio break recess, please?
Oh wait, here I
Go
got.
ahead.
I just zoomed in. The numbers look a little clearer here. Wow.
All right. I will be back in 3 minutes, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen.
Ash, shut up.
Well, the good news, it's not 8 feet.
Yeah, I can't see it with the magnifying glass or the readers at all.
But
To
it's
trust you guys.
pretty obvious. That line that says 910, that's right above, the number 910 is right above the word island.
Okay.
That is
I
nice.
thought it
Yeah.
looked like
And then
919.
you have
Yeah,
2-foot grading. You have 910, you have 908, 906, and then the other heavy dashed line is 904. I know that has to be 904 because that's what the floodplain line is.
Yep.
So, you know, that's the number for Banham Lake, no matter where you are on Banham Lake. It's the same for David Jeremiah Sr.'s property. It's the same for Larry Sweeney. It's the same for Connie Trolley. It's the same for the people on East Shore Road. It's the same for people on, you know, Nick's Cove. It doesn't matter. It's 904 is the floodplain.
David,
And
how do I get
go
the
on.
picture to you?
can you bring it up on your computer?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Or else, do you have anybody on the board's email?
What?
Could you email it to weig@optonline.net?
Yes.
WIIG@optonline.net?
I didn't hear that again. I probably have your Dave Jeremiah's. I think I have yours someplace. No, Dave, let me have yours. Your email or a text,
Dave Wig or mine?
either one.
You can do it too, Dave. I don't care.
Oh yeah. Actually, I never loaded it up before. You can send it to my. Okay, text it to me. No, I'll email it. What do you have to email it onto the phone, right? Email it off.
Well, you're using your computer, right?
Yeah, probably
You
email
want to
it.
get it on your computer.
Yeah, D's and David, P's and Paul, Jeremiah @AOL.com. Use that one.
And Jeremiah is GEREMIA.
Woohoo!
It's right there on the screen underneath his name.
Well, huh?
David, you and your dad and me are the only ones that still have AOL.
I have it for my business for the last
No,
4
I said.
years. I
My
can't serve it.
sister still has it too, the creator of the postcard.
I have 8 email accounts. Trust me, it's annoying.
Oh, so somebody's a scammer.
No, it's just all different. I have different businesses and different. I don't want them. I keep everything separate, but it all comes into one anyway at the end.
You know, I'll tell you, I've used your towing services at Durable more than once.
Oh, I hope it's all good.
Probably
all
more
have.
than 10 times we've used it. We
Wow.
only use them.
It was
I got something on my nose. Sorry, David.
AAA. It was AAA.
No.
No, just call us direct.
Pay out of pocket because you guys are good.
I appreciate it. Are you sending it over? And using nothing yet.
All right. You want me to stop sharing so you can share screen?
Nothing came up yet.
Okay.
No, I didn't get it yet. Sorry.
No problem.
But he got something.
Not me. Because I have like a PayPal. I have my business one. Jeez.
I have a coupon only email address just so I can set up for like coupons and rebates and stuff.
Crazy. Like we have our shop one, which is like Outlook, but certain insurance companies can't send like anything through to Outlook.
Yeah, I get it.
They won't use it. So we have our durable co at AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my two private ones and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's not coming up.
D's and David, P's and Paul.
Yeah, I did it, but
Will it send?
is there any other way I can get it on there?
I could.
Do you have it on the computer that you're currently using?
No, I
Connie?
have it on my cell phone.
Can you email it to yourself on the computer that you're using?
You can't see it, right?
Well, we can see something there.
Yeah.
Put it back up there.
Okay, let me make it bigger. This is right now. Can you see anything?
Okay, there you go.
Stay right where you are. I see a bumper of the car.
Then there's the two
So
pipes. Up. Yep.
Not good. I have
Yeah.
two pictures.
Well, it's not like it is. It looks like 3 to 4 feet at the highest, right?
Yeah. Miss Connie, do you want to text it to me? And then are you able to text it and then I can pull it
Sure.
up on my computer?
That'd be good.
All right. Let me
Okay,
know
what-
when you're
Yeah,
ready for my
Eileen,
phone number.
Go ahead.
Eileen,
203.
Sorry?
203
Okay.
525
Yep.
9625.
Perfect. Done.
And then what I'll do is I'll email it to myself and I'll just pull it up and share the screen.
Good.
Perfect.
You got us, Eileen.
I'm something. What would you guys do without me?
That is a good question.
We go to
And-
Pop, sit outside 6 feet apart, and read everything and have ice cream.
Yeah, we would have said, Connie, we'll meet you at Poppy's. Bring the phone with you.
Well, hopefully after everything that happened last week, you'll never have to find that out. So let me know once you've sent it, ma'am.
I just did.
Okay. I'll let you know when it shows up.
I think it just went out.
All right. All right. 2 images you sent me?
Yeah.
All right. Just 1 second. I'll either mail them to myself at work and we will get them pulled up.
And I'd like you to, at some point, email them to Tony, too,
Yes, sir.
when you get a chance. Don't have to do it now, just eventually, so he has it for the
Mm-hmm.
file. Since we're looking at these as part of our decision-making process, it should be on the record.
Of course. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I got the first email popped over. You can see the back tail end of a car and then a pile of dirt. Is that what everyone else sees?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And,
So,
yes,
so where if you can look where the foundation starts and the gray, that's the level of the driveway.
right.
It's actually the same level as the street, which is way over to the right.
Okay.
I mean, that's their driveway. This is my driveway.
they want to put a retaining wall there?
Yes.
Where the hole is dug, yeah.
And there's going to be a retaining wall as part of the plan. It's just 10 feet closer to her driveway than it was originally. That's what you're looking at. I mean, we all know we've seen worse, but I mean, it's like I cringe every time now when we see a retaining wall, personally.
Well,
Me
is it
too, and I'm new.
put up against their foundation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to butt up against that. Well, actually, what we really need to do is now we go back to the map and you see the two corners of the house there, I think the retaining wall is going to go
Inside.
to that corner that's right by the two green pipes that you see.
Where to go?
What's it gonna look like? Is it gonna be an attractive wall or?
Well, it's going to hold back all the soilage coming over, right?
Right.
Well, that's a fair question.
And the
Yeah.
the green
Well-
pipes are for what? The curtain drains?
That
Well,
is, let me see.
Gutters? The gutters?
They don't have gutters. They've got that strange system that Ken Harika uses, which is gravel, and then he puts pipes down below it. Do I think it's going to work in the cold weather? No.
Oh, okay.
Do we know what, this is Eileen Arbutus, do we
I
know
do
what
not.
material the retaining wall will be made out of?
No, I don't think it says anyplace. I never saw any
So
detail.
we don't know if it's cement or wood or stone or any of the
Well-
above.
I think it says block retaining wall, but I could be wrong.
So block with the fascia maybe or something?
He told me he's going to plant some trees in front of it. I mean,
Because those green pipes are going to be on the outside of that wall anyway, right?
it would appear to.
So,
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
but
I
anyway, the
don't-
reason why I want to come back here is that, and I'd like to go back to the conversation afterwards. I just want to not lose track of what I was thinking at first, is that you saw there were two corners of the foundation. One was
The inner one.
one is the actual corner right by Connie's driveway, and the other one stuck out. So that wall goes into that corner of the
Eileen, can you
picture
pull it
that
back
was
up?
closest to you.
Jeremiah, do you want the pictures or the
Yeah,
site map?
the picture back, yeah.
Sure, 1 second.
Yeah.
I thought it follows what I was doing. I was looking at the pictures too.
Yeah, so what they did was, I bet you the bump out was on on the foundation. It bumped out. Now they want to, instead of keep it inner, they rather line it up to the outside of the wall, right?
Yeah,
So it went from
the
the inner
wall
wall to the outer wall.
yes.
That's what they
Because you
moved.
see the
It-
inner wall,
It's no different.
the inner wall,
Yeah,
go on.
I'm sorry for interrupting. In
No,
other
no,
words,
go ahead.
the wall it's still going to be the same wall. It's just moving forward, moving toward my property more. That's really all. And then
Yes.
more pavers and more parking.
Where's your
Right.
property line up?
It comes across there. You have to look at the map. It's weird. It's a weird property situation.
It's somewhere between the driveway and the foundation.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it looks like the green pipes are actually further towards Connie's property.
Right, I was gonna say it's gotta be between the
Actually,
driveway and
so-
the green
So
pipes.
they're still within their property line, right?
Oh, yes, it's definitely.
Yes, but
their
they are,
property
I mean,
line.
that corner,
Okay.
And
the corner.
and that's where the
that
swale
corner-
is. The swale is going to go along the way where my car is parked.
Okay.
Swale there.
Well, they're gonna level it out, yeah.
Now, is that building within 5 feet of your property line?
No, because the property line goes across the driveway. We share the driveway. It's an
Oh,
old lawsuit from years and years ago, my grandmother even. So I don't want to bore you with that whole story.
Boy,
I
everybody on
understand.
the lake, you guys got issues over there with this stuff,
Oh,
huh?
God, yeah. Crazy.
I'm so glad all of a sudden I don't live on the lake.
I don't know, I'll take the issues to live on the lake. I don't know about you.
Not the taxes.
Yeah,
all
not the
right.
taxes.
Let's
Go ahead.
get back on the subject. Do you have an understanding now, Veronica, of what the retaining wall is and how
Yes,
it's structured? And,
Yep.
and how does the board want to proceed?
So it's meeting the guidelines, right?
It's legal.
well, if it's legal, then we have to approve it.
Unless we want to ask them if they would do something to make the retaining wall look nicer for Connie.
I mean, we can do
instead of
that.
a big-
I would really like them to make it not be an ugly thing. You know, could they put a fascia stone layer on the outside of it or something? And
What kind? You said they're putting shrubs like they have those up top.
They said they were going to move some of those shrubs and put it in the front. I mean,
Mhm.
just
yeah, shrubs die though.
don't worry about me on that one.
Shrubs die.
She can always put her own stuff up too.
If the thing is legal and you're happy with it, please don't consider my opinion. Other than I will tell you, they're neighbors. I've been friends with them for a long time, and we live close now. They're like roommates.
Well, I think this is Eileen. I think it comes down to being objective, not so much a emotional thing.
That's
It's
correct.
is it legal or is it
Well,
not?
It's legal.
The only thing is that we could place a condition on the approval. The only problem is we don't have Ken Harika here to say, yes, they will go ahead and do it. I mean, conceivably, we could say that, we
We can make a recommendation, right? Just a recommendation
yes.
that.
Well, we
that's
can
what I would
place a
do.
condition on the site plan approval.
Right.
I mean, I don't care who the neighbor is. If there's no trees there, what if they, someday they all die and they don't replant them? Then even if it's not Connie that lives there, whoever lives there is stuck looking at an eyesore unless we ask them to make it sort of attractive.
But this is Eileen. I don't know if that's necessarily our planning and zoning's issue.
Right.
We don't have to do that. No, there's no requirement for us to do that.
We can just
The only
It's
comment,
nice,
though, is
but
that-
I don't know if it's necessarily within our purview.
Well, one of the number one tenets of zoning is preserving the value of the properties.
Exactly. That's why I
I
would say
stand corrected.
make it as attractive as possible.
That's all. Yeah. Sounds good.
So Veronica, are you making a motion?
The motion.
Thinking about how to word it. I don't know, David, what do we say? Providing, I don't know, how do we word
On the
this?
condition that the retaining wall has some sort of fascia that is adds beyond a poured foundation wall.
All right, let's see if we can do this. I'll make a motion to approve, as long as the retaining wall can
With the
be
condition,
made
with a condition that
with the condition that the retaining wall can be made to be not just a block retaining wall, but to have a layer to make it more attractive.
say a poured foundation, more than just a poured foundation concrete wall.
More than just a poured foundation concrete wall.
Like there, and have some kind of a fascia or stonework to.
Which has to have a fascia or stonework.
Well, they mentioned shrubs, right? They're going to take all those trees down in front.
No. They had some before that where they put in the driveway and they're going to put those 3 in front here.
Gotcha. So they're going to add a couple.
The
Nice
other ones
shrubs.
are going to stay there. They're going to add some, but
Well, they got the telephone cable there, right? The cable holding the table. The wire.
yeah.
So they really can't do much more. They're going to have to leave that there. All right.
David, could I mention something that I kind of did in inland wetlands? And just to cover,
Yeah, go ahead.
I say in the motion, because we believe that the engineering information is correct and appropriate.
Actually, what we should do is, we need to, Veronica, you want to add to the motion? Could you bring the map back up? Eileen, thank you. Very good. I want to take that and take it a step farther.
Do you guys see that?
No.
No? Okay. It doesn't, hold on. I'm sorry.
There you go. Okay. Oh.
Do you see it now?
No,
All
but
right.
I see all the
I got the
people.
map. I got the map on my side. If you want me to share it.
There we go.
Well, I can. Okay, cool. So let's zoom out a little bit on that so we can see the whole map for a second, because we're going to zoom in on something else. I think it's the lower right-hand corner of the map. Yes, Let's do zoom in on the lower right-hand corner of that map where all the writing is. And what you want to add in there, and we should do this on every approval we do, we want to, based on the engineering documented in the site plan prepared for John Hyatt Choate,
Mhm.
22 Island Trail, Morris, Connecticut, by Hurricka and Associates, dated for, I think it's 8/2019, with a revision date of, I think if you scroll up just a little bit, Eileen, up, you went down.
There's a whole bunch of revision dates.
Revision date of 4/9/20.
So a whole year went between the two?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't realize it either, but this plan was originally drawn in 4/11/2019. That, and could you read back what we have now, please, Eileen?
I was going to go it off the recording.
Okay.
Because it was a lot of words. All I heard was based on the engineering site plan from John
Okay.
Hyatt.
from
Yeah, just
4,
address and phone number. Yeah, name and address.
11,
I
9.
basically said you would write what's in that lower right-hand corner site plan
Yep.
prepared for John Hyatt, blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
blah. And the date that's under
4/8/19 with a revision date of 4/9/20.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure we had the base on and what it said, engineering site plan. You know, because it's like we're basing it on the engineering, which is what Connie asked for. And we want to specifically mention the map so we know exactly what map, because we will have probably at least 2 maps on record for this application, if not more. And that way, when somebody looks at it in 10 years, they can say, okay, this is the right map, this is not the right map.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have a second to that motion?
This is Eileen Arbutus. I will second Veronica's motion.
Is there any discussion? I hear nothing. I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
This is Dell. I'll be
Motion
abstaining.
Dell is abstaining.
Yes.
Thank you. No problem. I just want to make sure the record's complete. Okay. Thank you, Connie.
I would like to
Appreciate
thank
your
you all
patience.
for your time and appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, Connie. Good to see you.
Thank you
Have a
for
lo-
joining us, ma'am.
No offense, but I'm signing out.
You're welcome. I
We
appreciate
would like
your
to
paying
be
up with
there
us for as
right
long
with
as you
you.
can.
We're getting close to the time when I might just make that motion, so.
All right, good. Thanks a lot,
Well,
David.
I don't know how much, we're not going to go through the complaints today. So we're close to being done here. I just don't remember what else was on it, so I'm going back here, and I guess the one thing I'd like, what's the latest on the postcard? Do you know, Eileen? Because I know Tony's not here.
I sent it to both you and Tony on Thursday.
Right, and I don't know if anything's happened because he didn't work on Friday. Okay, he probably didn't work on Friday, so, and he's been otherwise
Yep, I sent it
indisposed over
to
the
both
weekend.
you and him, and I sent you both a text
You did.
message letting you know. Yep. And with my apologies for not being able to to be at the last meeting.
I thought they were gonna get the link posted up on the town website too, but I don't see it anywhere.
I agree.
Yeah, I
I
didn't think I saw
I
it.
got the this is Eileen. I got the Facebook blast from the town of Morris, and I did complete the survey myself. However,
Not everybody's on Facebook.
that, and I'm not sure if all of those questions were ones that were on there.
Oh, don't tell me he changed it.
I have to go back to my notes, but I feel like some of them weren't ones that I remember seeing.
Okie
How many
dokie, well,
questions did you
that's a
ask? How
problem.
many questions were there?
A lot.
Could you,
Hmm.
Eileen, could you email the whole board that link so
Sure.
we can at least see what's there?
Because I'm not gonna be happy if he went and changed our,
I don't know if it was necessarily our CEO.
no, not him, I'm not talking about Tony. If it
But
went out
this
through Facebook,
Well,
Tony,
the only person who could change the Survey Monkey is whoever has access to the Survey Monkey.
Which would be, what's her face?
The lady from the
Jocelyn.
Northwest Council, right?
Jocelyn, yeah.
Right.
Could you email that to all of us so we can all look at it?
Yes.
And
And
if there's
also so
enough
you
of
guys
an
can
issue-
complete it.
If there's enough of an issue, we can always set a special meeting in the next week
And
or two.
again, I have to relook at my notes. It's possible that I don't remember those specific questions being in the survey, but I'm reading some of them and they totally did not register as something that I had looked at before. But again, I had a very rough week last week, so it's possible that I don't know what I'm talking about.
can you remember one of the questions that you thought was not in there?
It was asking about. I just did it yesterday. I can't think of what it is right now, but I'm like, what the hell? Why are we asking this question?
Wow.
But either way, and no, I do not see it out on the Town of Morris website, which it should be.
Yeah, because not
Yeah, I
every.
was on there today, I didn't see it.
Oh, hey, David, speaking of the postcard, if it was going to be posted on the town website, I talked to Greg at the transfer station. He told me we could put a little sign up if I laminate it, and I have a laminator at work asking people to check it out. But if we got to get it posted first. Is that all right if I
Right,
have him
right.
post it up?
Oh, please do. Any more publicity, the better. And the dump
Yeah,
is
we'll
one
just
of the
say
best
something
places
like,
to-
you know, Morris Planning and Zoning,
you.
doing the 10-year town plan of conservation and development. Please fill out the survey once we know it's on the town website.
And I believe the Facebook post came out either Thursday or Friday from the Town of Morris. So if anybody wouldn't mind sharing it on their personal pages, I know several people already have.
Yeah, I don't.
I have as well. But we
Nope.
really need to get it on the Town of Morris website.
Yes. Don't do Facebook.
So is Tony following up with the Town of Morris website, or is that something that somebody else needs to?
I thought he said he was going to have Tom do it, but maybe Tom took it as I
Yeah,
should
I gotta talk to him too.
through Facebook.
So am I to write that, David, when you're going to follow up with Tom to have it
Yes.
added there? Okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. So if we're not following up on any of the complaints, I guess the last thing is just the minutes from the July 8th special meeting. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right, that is there. Has anybody had a chance to look at those yet?
I didn't even see them on the website.
Did not see them on the website either. Let me
Then,
check right now.
I don't think he had a chance to do them. I don't see them.
They are not out there. And, you know, amusingly, I look out here. We are one of the few committees that actually posts our minutes, by the way.
I love that we can post the video as basically the minutes.
But people don't even do that.
Right, so we're already ahead of the curve.
So I'm going to add to the notes, this is Eileen, that the minutes from the last meeting are not available for us to approve.
Correct.
Okay?
You're good.
Thank you. Now, yeah, if you just email me that link so I can take a look at it. I'd like to email the board in case. I'm not on Facebook. I don't know if I assume most people are, but
I am,
Just in
but I have
case
a
somebody
fake
isn't.
Facebook account, so.
What?
I could care less.
Why we call it faceless book, because you really don't know who you're talking to.
With my job and my
fine.
political beliefs, I cannot have the two coincide. So,
Faceless book.
yes. But yes, Mr. Wig, this is Eileen. I will send that link out to the committee.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Veronica,
Much
do you
appreciated.
want to do the honors?
Motion.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this regular meeting of the Morris, Connecticut Planning and Zoning Committee at 8:54 p.m. on Monday, July 13th, 2020.
Well, we don't have a quorum, so we were stuck.
We do have a quorum.
Did we,
Do we?
Better motion?
They drop?
This is
Bill's still
Eileen.
here.
I second the motion.
Thank you. I got to work on my motions for David.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I
Abstention.
oppose.
Thank you guys very much. We did hold on. We still have a quorum.
Yay!
Let me know when I
We
can
are
stop
good.
recording.
We can stop recording right now.
All right. We are